Let's keep it going. So, nuts, another amazing carbohydrate coming from nature, growing on trees. Um, so, organic nuts packed with protein, fiber, antioxidants, healthy fats, high in calories. So, they're a great source of energy. Um, and they're complex carbs, so microbes love them and can digest them. And they can ferment in our very long GI tract. They're a little more expensive, and everyone likes to complain about that, but that's because most of them are from overseas and they're grown in tropical areas, which is another big thing. We don't really grow too many nuts in America, or I'm not honestly too sure, but I don't think we do. It's mostly a place that's grown in tropical areas. So it's another reason why we needed to eat all this high dairy stuff. We weren't getting potentially the number one way of getting protein and just having overall energy. Just popping a few nuts. They're like nature supplements. They have minerals, they have everything. And the microbes love them. And they have specific strains of microbes too. They have unique strains of microbes that fruits and vegetables don't have, which is really cool because there's so many different kinds of nuts. So we ideally want to be going for non-GMO nuts. The GMO nuts today, they're cheaper and they're huge. Um, and it's unfortunate because the regular nuts are kind of just the same thing, just a little smaller, but they're packed with nutrients and they're more expensive. So to the average logical person, getting the GMO nuts, that's three times the size and half the price is the way to go. But really, to be getting all the nutrients and all the microbes, it's worth the $5 more because down the road it'll really help you out with having just a better life by having a healthier microbiome in all ways. Um, so yeah, nuts are a great way to really just have a snack on the go too. That's the thing about a lot of nuts and fruits. It's like a quick source of energy. And we don't need to eat too much because they're so rich. They're so high in nutrients. You really can't eat more than like 500 calories of them at a time because your body will just be so full of complex carbohydrates. It'll be like, we're good, we're good. Like if you try to eat like 5 apples, you'll notice the same thing. A lot of fruit, you'll just get full fast. It's because the body's like, whoa, we got a good amount of stuff. But when you eat fast food, processed food, meats, dairy, you just feel like an endless pit because your body's like, anything else? Anything more nutritious? No? Okay, well, I guess we have a toxic waste spill now. We have to clean up all night long, so you won't really be getting any sleep. Um, but yeah, let's go into fats. Fats are another interesting human food group really nowadays by how much tons of it is used in America at least. Um, so fat is a natural oily or greasy substance occurring in animal bodies, especially when deposited as a layer of under the skin. So I have a really understanding of what a fat is. Oils are fats that are liquid room temperature, like vegetable oil, can be used as cooking. So oils too, they're kind of fatty oils. There can be natural oils. Any kind of herb or can be used as an oil, but I'm specifically talking about the kind of cooking oil, more food oils we'd be using. So as we kind of got into eating more food, more fancy foods, we kind of got into frying stuff and cooking stuff on pans with oil. And well, we really liked it. We really loved it. We in Italy we see this being used um, in most Italian cooking is they use this kind of oil to start cooking things with bread, using it as a way of not having the bread stick. And then it came across to America, and we had all this cooking oil. Now we really loved it. We were in love. It was another product we just fell in love with, like high fructose corn syrup, cheese and bacon and meat. So yeah, what happened? Big food companies were like, hey, everyone's frying stuff. Let's try to make this as cheap as possible, and they came up with all this kind of synthetic oils, like all this. There's just so many. Anything that's not extra virgin is technically synthetic oil with a bunch of different additives and chemicals. So even just olive oil by itself can still be considered synthetic and non-natural. Um, But yeah, there's a lot of natural oils that are still healthy sources of fat as well, like coconut oil, olive oil, avocado oil, and even extra olive oil being pure olives. So there's a ton of different ways we can get um, healthy fats without the nasty stuff, the super GMO nut oils and the super GMO oil foods like uh, soy and oats, because these things are just super GMO'd out, so it's like not doesn't have any of that real healthy stuff, and it's all processed too, so it's all synthetic. But the big thing too about oils, um, what was I just gonna say? Oh my gosh. I think we're just gonna go right to alcohol. Whatever. Forgot it. So alcohol. We love alcohol. It's literally our number one favorite thing above all the things that I mentioned, especially in America. The lines for the liquor stores on holidays is like insane. Every time there's a holiday, there's 5 days before the holiday, there are police at the liquor store because there are so many people buying liquor, buying alcohol. So we love alcohol. It's so amazing, right? It does so many great things for us. Um, but really, when we look at alcohol from a microbial perspective, it is a colorless, flammable, colorless, violet, volatile, flammable liquid that produces produced by natural fermentation of sugars and is the intoxicating constitute of wine, beer, spirits, and other drinks, and is also used as an industrial solvent and as fuel. So it's on those things that we look at it right off the bat. It's like that looks kind of nasty. And when unfortunately, it is it has the good parts. We get drunk, we feel really good. Our nervous system starts to like go out of whack, so we feel really great. Um, but what it does inside of us is it kills our microbiome almost completely, and it's really sad because even if you're eating a healthy diet, literally like an amazing diet, if you are drinking alcohol like more than 2 times a week, especially hard alcohol, you're just destroying your microbiome completely because it goes through the small intestine, the large intestine, it mixes with food, it just goes everywhere. Anything it touches gets neutralized. It's like lava when it comes to the microbes. That's why it's like one of the reasons we love alcohol so much in the past too is that it was able to use for cleaning wounds. It was one of the main things it was used for back in the day. Um, it was just you had any kind of bloody or any kind of wound at all, pouring alcohol on it, or burning it was the way they used before alcohol. But then they realized alcohol works, so they started using alcohol, and it really changed the game in medicine. Really, it was they were still been doing that for a very long time, up until like the 1800s, um, and so it did have this ability to kill all kinds of bacteria, and honestly, potentially was used to be able to kill internal bacteria as well for people had because it was a way of keeping the GI tract clean of toxic things because they didn't really have healthy microbiomes too much if they were not eating a lot of food and they were just the body was really stressed all the time working really long hours. But alcohol, it yeah, if you are having it, it's just going through destroying everything. Hard alcohol is the worst. Hard liquor is the worst. It's just like diesel fuel and just neutralizes everything. Um, and yeah, it doesn't really have the healthy microbes in it. They're all kind of the other kind of bacteria considered yeast. Like beer has microbes in it, but it's yeast bacteria, which is actually another kind of parasitic bacteria that's not we don't want in our bodies because it just turns and it breaks down more sugar and turns sugar into fat. And yeah, it's actually like what fat is, yeast. But that's a whole other thing we're gonna get into. But that was just so that was it for the food history. Now we're gonna get into some food secrets, the fun part, which is where we really get into some stuff.